So this is an opportunity for us in the partnership that we have with Cognitro AI, Microsoft, and Reddington to bring this webinar of ensuring public safety with COVIX. It's an AI tool that we have developed to fight COVID-19. And we're going to be showcasing the solution, how it works, and why is it needed in this day of the pandemic. Are we set? We're fine. Are we live?
Yes, Mr. Amjad.
Okay, all right. So just quickly so we're going to talk about Cognitro. So just quickly, Cognitro is an AI powerhouse. We've been pushing the AI boundaries, turning data into stories, and democratizing analytics. We have branches in the US, but we're also present internationally. We work across the functional side of AI, as well as the strategic side of AI, primarily walking organizations through the AI journey to achieve analytics and AI maturity. And we've developed a maturity framework called the 6 E's framework for cognitive organization. And it allows organizations, again, to leverage their data, structured and unstructured data, in order to extract intelligence and achieve information dominance with regard to their data. We have a number of disruptive products that we have launched over the past couple of years. A lot of them are also on the video analytics side. So today you will see a combination of face mask detection and social distancing in one. But we've also developed a model for fatigue detection for drivers. We've developed a model for face recognition. We also worked with the local waste management agency to develop a waste detection model and detecting greenhouses from satellite images. Again, we're proud to have a number of partners that help us navigate through the technology and strategic uncertainties. Okay, so let's dive into it. So what is COVIX? COVIX is a solution that allows you to do two things: face mask detection and social distancing. When we started out, we started with Phantom, and Phantom is a face detection model. It allows you to recognize and alert people when they're not wearing masks. It's main geared for outdoor as well as indoor places. And the idea is that using live video camera, whenever a person is not wearing mask, it's going to alert the authority or alert the person in charge. Okay. And then as time progressed, we realized that not only face mask was needed, but also social distancing. And so with social distancing, we are able to ensure compliance with regard to the guidelines by the CDC, which is maintaining 1.8 meter of distance between individuals in public places. And as a result, we were able to combine both face mask distancing, face mask violations, as well as social distancing into one quantitative safety metric. We call it the COVIX index metrics. And it allows you to, again, understand and kind of gauge the level of safety for any place if they have the proper technology and tools to do so. So what is COVIX? It's really, if we looked at the recommendation by the CDC, even throughout the development of the vaccine, all along they've been saying maintaining the physical distance and the use of face masks are the two best ways to prevent transmission of the new coronaviruses. Also, we're seeing how the vaccination has been a challenge in a number of countries. supply demand chain is obscured by a number of hurdles. Even the CDC had recommended that they anticipated that the face mask and the use of face masks and social distancing will go way into the 2021 and even 2022, primarily because the vaccination will only have limited role in terms of protecting the public. You cannot, vaccinate the entire population in 1 year. So this is a reality that is setting upon us, and we're helping companies and organizations deal with the pandemic. So how does it work? It starts by the CCTV camera. Let's say if you have an own camera within, then it starts to detect face masks and social distancing and the public. And so all what is required at this point is the camera that is mounted, and it could be either that the cameras installed that you have installed within the facility. Otherwise, we provide the cameras from our side. But the minimum resolution that we require is usually about 1.5 megapixels or 2 megapixels. Once you started detecting those violations, you want to do a number of things. You want to be able to recognize the violator. So if you have a face recognition system, let's say you're trying to detect your employees' compliance to face mask detection, and you have their face database, and you're able to recognize who the violator is. In a hotel, it could be the same. If you have a hotel guest management with faces, you can do so. The other alternative is obviously to send it out to the person in charge. I'm sorry. The other way is to do a public announcement. So whenever you have people in the vicinity, and they are primarily not complying, then you can send an announcement over the speakers. The other thing is to send the alert through an SMS alert, through an SMS to the person in charge. Then she will primarily go to the person who is violating and make sure that they are complying. Aside from taking immediate actions, you can monitor compliance. So again, with the COVIX index, there are two ways. You can send it to a mobile application. For example, in buses, we're working with agencies so that riders, before they ride on the bus, they have an idea of how many people are complying within the bus, and they can make the decision whether to board and onboard the bus. On the management side, you can actually look at how the level of compliance have varied from day to day, and we're going to show you a demo of this pretty soon. How reliable is the face mask? Well, this is sort of an illustration of how accurate the model is. So you see the lady in this shop. In this case, she is not wearing her face mask, and so you get the red square around her face. In the case when the person is not fully wearing the face mask, so the face mask is even tilted, it actually generates an alert. Okay. And so as the case here, you can see that this is a different face mask, but also the mask is not covering the nose. And so therefore, she's flagged for violation. Okay. The other types of scenarios that we play out, if people are in far side, and we will show you a live demo of this right now, but primarily if people are in far side, as you can see, it's able to detect them and measure social distancing. If there are people standing that are in overlap, it can still detect social distancing. If you have non-maskers that are looking sideways, it still works. And also maskers that are not fully masked and not wearing the proper way. We have tested this over a number of surveillance cameras around the world. And as a result, we created something called the COVIX Index, the World COVIX Index. And if you go to www.covix.ai, you'll be able to see how we've taken live stream cameras from different locations, and we're able to measure the compliance in those countries. So where can COVIX be applied? It can primarily be applied in a number of industries, obviously airports, banks, factories, retail, and healthcare, but also within offices, colleges, and malls. The main focus from our side has been on public buses, industrial factories. We've worked with a number of factories, as well as hotels and resorts. We have a case study that we will show you on the hotel side. Okay, so now on the COVIX on the bus, for example, we're able to, when a passenger enters the bus, we're able to detect the counts and then detect social distancing and verify the count, and then do the people verification, and then continue to do the face detection and the social distancing. As I said, we streamline the metadata to to a mobile app where riders can actually see the level of safety prior. In factories, we have designed a way to optimize the safety. Obviously, there are facilities, there are areas within the facility that may not, where face masks or social distancing may not be applicable, but they can be merged. And so we've designed a blueprint for how factories can actually optimally deploy COVIX on their premises. I want to show the case study that we've done with one hotel, where the problem was that there was a massive spread of COVID-19 in the region, and there was a declining bookings, and and as a result, there were obviously a decrease in the number of bookings, and as a result, the hotel suffered from declining revenues. On top of this, there were regulations for face masks and social distancing that which are now a safety priority. And we know that in that location, the police department have actually enacted a law to give guests a fine of 1,000 dirham per violation. And so this was a major setback. So what we have done is that we've done a couple of things: maintaining count of people entering the hotel, verifying guests are maintaining social distancing of 2 meters in specific areas, and we try to verify that guests are wearing a required face masks in specific areas. Also, we added a feature that allows it to also identify the individuals that are wearing face masks and not wearing social masks. The individuals that are not wearing face masks and not maintaining social distancing, and we were able to send them an alert. As a result, we were able to, again, as you can imagine, you'll be able to reduce the spread of the disease, you'll be able to recover revenues, and you'll be able to save guest fees as a result, and enhance the hotel, the brand image of the hotel, and join the collaborative fight against the COVID-19. So again, we did this across the facility in order to make sure that all areas are covered. So again, you've got the lobby entrance, the counter when you first go in, see in stage area, the bar area, the conference room reception, the conference, inside the conference room, as well as the restaurants and entrances in the corridors. So as you can see, it covers a wide spectrum of areas within the premise. As a result, we were able to achieve a number of objectives: increase the general level of safety and comfort, automate the manual process and labor work, and then avoid loss of revenues from unsatisfied guests, and of course provide a reasonable level of risk avoidance in order for guests to avoid penalties by police in the hotel. And the metrics that we've used is the cost saving to the hotel as a result of automation, potential saving to guests from as a result of avoiding fines from police, as well as the potential loss of revenues from unsatisfied guests. These are the numbers. About 2,115,000 in average annual average cost saving in terms of automating the process. Almost 6 million dirham in terms of the average fine value from allowing guests to not get penalties and fines. And then the potential lost revenues, almost 1 million dirham with respect to lost revenues from unsatisfied customers. All this can be translated into a large benefit for the hotel itself. We're going to show you a demo pretty soon. But of course, the first thing that comes into mind is, how do I deploy COVIX? So there are two ways. You can deploy COVIX on the cloud. So it could be fully on the cloud. So let's say your organization has a cameras that is an IP camera, and it allows us to stream the live video from the camera to the cloud. We partnered with Microsoft and Reddington to deploy the solution on Azure cloud, and it's functional. We're going to show you a quick demo of the solution using the video on the cloud. Also, to account for potential sensitivity of having your cameras cameras streaming live videos of maybe sensitive data to the cloud, we also partnered with NVIDIA, and we deployed the system on their edge devices. So now, we can now bring in those edge devices closer within the facility, and therefore all the detection happens within the space, and the live video does not have to lead to the cloud. But essentially what we do is we take the metadata, the number of violations, for example, the type of violation, and we send it to the cloud primarily for executive management, the dashboard that I will show you in a little bit. Okay, so let me show you quickly. So we do have a live demo. I would ask that maybe we give, in a little bit, we give the, just give me a second. Actually, if you go to, let's go to COVIX, and I'll show you. So if you go to COVIX.ai, this is the official portal of the solution. And again, so there has a lot of information here, but if you want to see sort of things, and let's see how it works. So as you can see on the right side, you have the panel that shows you the social distancing, and that goes on red when the violations are high and the social distancing are high, and then that goes to red when the total number of people that are violating face masks to the total number of people that exist in the place are actually at a certain level, right? And then you've got the COVIX index right here, and that shows you on average what is the total count, the sort of safety level in the vicinity. So this is from Dublin, Ireland. We took, you're gonna see another one, so you can see the map right here. We can also show you different zones and a heat map of the safety level based on different, let's say you have different locations in the city and so on. So again, just to show you, this is now a Manhattan downtown. And again, it looks at the number of people that are in the facility. For example, the person right here who's sitting here was detected not to have face mask, and as you can see, there's a violation. But also there's a kind of instantaneous chart that shows you the instantaneous level of safety. Okay. The other link that I want to show is very quickly, just to see how the dashboard looks like. So again, this is how it plays along. So this is within an office. You can see the social distancing illustration right here. All the distances. And you've got the face mask violation and social distancing. And then this is the total indicator. And then of course, there's a people counter. So let's say this is in day 1. And then you go to day 2 and day 3. And let's just say that at the end of the day, what you want to do is look on each day, how has the average compliance safety been? So again, I have the face mask violations here. I have the social distancing, and I also have the average compliance of both. And I have the people count. I can practically go to any day. So let's say go to the day number 1. And as you can see in day number 1, we've got a safety score of 92, which is the highest. And if I click on it, it's going to show me that snapshot of the day where the face mask and the social distancing were maximum. I can also now go to day 2, and then I see that it's a bit declining. Day 3, day 4. I can go to the lowest point where violations have happened. And let's say, so if I go here, you see that the social distancing score is very low. So almost there is no compliance whatsoever. Everyone is close to everyone. And then the face mask score is almost 0 because none are wearing face masks. Okay. And I can do the same thing with face masks. I look at the time in which face mask was almost non-compliant. None of the people were compliant to face masks. So you can see this is a high score, and I can do this with social distancing as well. Okay. All right. We're going to also show you a live demo of the solution towards the end. But before we, so some of the questions that could come up is, how do I take this forward? Does this apply to my facility? So we have prepared a number of questionnaire. We have prepared a questionnaire that you can get answers from your technical team. And based on answers to these questions, we would assess the situation and do the kind of a high-level design and provide pricing based on it. But basically, the easiest way would be if you have, again, like I said, if you have cameras that are IP based and they have the means to transmit live videos to the cloud, in which we would do everything on the cloud. There's almost no setup, very minimal setup from the user side, and then it's pay as you go. The other way would be, again, if the data is sensitive enough that you cannot take the video outside the vicinity, the premise, in which case we would have to go with the second option, the second option, which is the on-prem and cloud, in which we would have to install some computer nodes inside the facility in order to do the detection on-premise. Okay. I want to give the floor. Maybe we can have Sandra share the screen. She will, or maybe the team, one of the team. I think you will have a request to share. So I'll stop sharing from my side. So if we now check the boxes, you see these are live views of the, I think there's the one on the right is a shop in Moscow, and then the one on the left is a street in Ukraine. And so basically what we're looking at, we don't see anyone here, but as soon as we see violation, we're gonna show you how to set up the notification. This is all, managed user manager system or user management system that allows you to configure how the system would work. So let's go to, so you can see, this is live video. This person on the right, he's green, which means he's good. And then whenever you would have, for example, when you see yellow bounded boxes, it means that there is social distancing violation. When the person is not wearing face mask, then you will see that they have a red square around their face. And of course, that will be reflected on the right side and the left side, on the right side of the social distancing and face mask. So let's go to notifications all the way, notification settings. Here I can pretty much adjust. So maybe we can put this at 0.6. This is basically tells me that I need very sensitive. Now, before we save the setting, we want to do the total violation to be 1. And then let's go to the audio notification. And then check the box next to the audio notification. No, yeah. So, and then as you can see, we have control over the type of audio that we will generate, whether it's a, you can have multiple ringtones, but also you can receive email notifications, but so you can, but this is pre-coded and we don't need to check it right now, but let's say you want to send an email notification to the authority or the individual in charge, then you can practically enter the email and choose which shift you want the email to be on versus each. So all the notifications can actually be on shift basis, right? So we want to check the trigger box and then do the save setting, and it saves. Okay. Now let's go to the live view. Okay. So we'll let it run. When a violation happens, it will generate a voice. But for now, let's go to violations view. And this is going to store all the previous violations that I have seen. So for example, on the left, you see camera 2 violations. If we scroll, you can actually see, you can look at the, now let's go to maybe a face mask violation. So you see on the left, on the down, on the picture down, yeah, you can just maybe open the image, open a new tab. And you can see that individual is not wearing face mask. Okay, whereas the other one in the back, if you see the one in the background, even though he's far from sight, but you can see he's wearing face mask, and the system was able to distinguish between the two. Okay, so let's go back. So we can look for other violations that are happening. So maybe scroll, let's scroll the top. Okay, so for example, you see you have people that are in far sight, but they were being detected as being too close as a result. And so you see, okay. All right, okay, let's close the images. Okay, so let's go. So what happens now is that, again, you can store all these different violations for future references. You can also look at any specific date and see how many violations happen. So let's go to summary view. And then let's say on, so this is 2010, I believe. So let's open, for example, Cam 1. And you see this is the number of violations. Obviously there's 0, but probably because there were other violations that happened in the time. So you see this is 47 social distancing violations, 7 face mask violations, and the total violations. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's go back and put the notification. Something I think we want to put the total violations, the face mask violations also at 1. Let's see. Anyway, I think you will not be able to hear it because it's only audible on the user side, right? So whenever you see the 2 people there, okay, so maybe you can hear it now. Yeah. You can hear the sound, right? Of course, it can be annoying if you continue to have the these triggers. So this is why you can lower a threshold from the notification side. Okay. So again, this is demonstrate that could be very easy. We're using these live videos, live cameras on the fly. The setup takes minimal time, and you could be ready to go in a couple of hours. Okay, well, if you are interested in getting exploring how to deploy this in your organization, you can drop us a line. The Reddington is our again channel and marketing partner. They're also so they will be reaching out and following up to see how we can take this further. But again, if you have any If there's anything we can support you on, please feel free to take the initiative, and we can take this forward. So there is a question here: using existing analog camera, what is the minimum requirement? So analog cameras could be tough. So for a digital camera, the resolution is a 1.8 to 2 megapixels, but analog would have to be probably taken into consideration. If you want to send us information about the type of analog camera and the specs, we can look into ways to maybe make it work. The reality is that the digital cameras that we require for the solutions are fairly inexpensive. For example, we use the Hikvision camera, which is it does the job, and the cost is around less than $100. Or around $100. So the cameras are the digital cameras nowadays are fairly cheap, and to get good resolution, usually, like I said, it costs you around $100 to do so. So yeah. In fact, the cost of installation, the cost of probably working around the limitation with analog cameras in terms of configuration and installation would probably be more than the cost of bringing a new camera. Also, the other factor is that most organizations prefer to have their existing surveillance cameras in place and not have to bother with bring new setup to the system in terms of the COVIX. One thing I want to mention is that in the case that you decide to go with in the event that you would want to go with the on-prem solution, which requires computer devices. Those computer devices are not, they can be used later on for a variety of AI detection. So being an AI company, we will help you actually deploy those use cases on-prem based on need. There was another question by Mr. Tawal. Some customers ask to have a temperature measurement function to be embedded in COVIX system. Would this be possible in principle? And if yes, how? So yeah, this would be possible in principle. There would have to be some adjustment, to the backend algorithms, but it could be done. But as it is right now, it doesn't come with a temperature measurement function. Also, the cost of the cameras will probably be higher because now we're talking about infrared images. But I can tell you from experience, the temperature cameras, the heat cameras are usually not the best indicator. We've heard from many organizations and clients that we've worked with is that it could give wrong readings and erroneous readings, primarily again because of a limitation in the actual measurement itself. Some people that are coming from outside, the temperature is hot outside, so it doesn't really reflect the core, the body core temperature. So yeah, some people do prefer the temperature over COVIX. So so there's a question: what's your expectation for COVID-19 affecting the world? Would it be worse in the due course? And how can AI help? Yeah, we're already seeing a terrible surge in COVID-19 cases. The reports from the CDC, looking at number one, how vaccination is happening. If I'm sure some of you have been trying to get a vaccine. It takes forever to do so, and so we're at a point. I think the one feature of this pandemic that has basically tainted the entire period is that it's very uncertain, right? We don't know these different vaccines have different types of efficacies, and whether it's AstraZeneca or Pfizer, there are daily speculations about which one is better than the other one, how effective they are, and I think only time will tell whether is it going to be 1 year for us, at least from my perspective, when this pandemic is over. I don't see it honestly being over in 1 year. There are a lot of speculations that this might go into 2023 and 2024. But AI can actually help in many ways, and depending on the industries. But we're working currently with organizations, in different parts of the world, and they tell us that they're ready to have this as the norm. COVID face mask detection, social distancing, and being innovative with how we actually enforce the social distance and the face mask, because for now there has nothing that has proved effective and viable in deterring the disease as the face mask and social distancing. So for the meantime, we think that these are the main weapons to do so. How do you enact them? Like I said, we're seeing different innovative ideas. So, for example, we're working with with this one potential client where we're trying to authenticate the individual face once they're violating face mask detection, and we're able to send an alert directly to that person so that he or she are alerted that they have to be wearing the face mask, and if so, if necessary, do the proper sanction, even remove them from the facility and take the right action. On buses, we're also, some of the features that we have embedded is that as soon as the passenger is violating face mask, the driver would get an alert, and then he would pull over and immediately call the authority to remove him from the bus. So it's really, it's a nasty disease, and I think all precautionary measures need to be taken in place. How long does will this be with us? I think that we're all experiencing the same the same thing. Every time we think we're close to a vaccination, we're hit by surprises and facts that makes us think otherwise.
Thank you so much, Amjad. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Shanhika. Thank you.